Yeah, I have to confess something. I was in a coffee shop this morning, just doing my people watching thing, and this woman walks in,
Oh, yeah.
and she's wearing this bright fire engine red lipstick, and it was instantaneous. Everyone looked. I looked. The barista, stopped steaming the milk for a second.
It's almost annoying how well that works, isn't it? It feels like a magic trick.
It totally does. And then, maybe 5 minutes later, this guy walks in, impeccable suit, tailored, broad shoulders, and the whole room just, I don't know, respected him instantly before he even said a word.
Right.
I'm just sitting there thinking, why do these specific things trigger such a huge unconscious reaction in us?
That is the million-dollar question. And usually we talk about it using words like style or trends or just good taste. We
Yeah.
think we're admiring the fashion.
Exactly. We think, oh, red is a bold color, or that suit fits him well. But today,
Yeah.
we are digging into some research that suggests we're looking at this all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We're basing this deep dive on the work of Emilia Nadrowska and her paper, The Body Dressed in Desire. And let me tell you, the core idea is going to sound a little bit sci-fi.
It does, but the biology behind it is very real. The argument here is that fashion isn't really about aesthetics. It's not about art.
Okay.
And sorry, but it's not really about self-expression in the way we think.
So what is it?
It's a complex system of biological hacking.
Biological hacking. Okay, that is the mission for this deep dive. We're going to explore how our clothes, our style, intercepts our biological signals.
Right.
How that blazer you choose or those shoes.
Yeah.
How they're actually translating evolution, hormones, and survival instincts into, fabric and leather.
Exactly. And to get this, you have to kind of strip away the modern human for a second. Forget your job, your hobbies, all that. Our brain is basically an ancient survival machine.
A lizard brain.
The lizard brain, yeah. And it's wired to interpret visual cues as messages. Is this person healthy? Are they fertile? Are they a threat? Fascia, according to this research, is just a filter that transforms the body into a message that answers those ancient questions.
So when I put on a jacket, I'm not just trying to look professional. I'm sending a telegram to your lizard brain.
You're encoding data, precisely. And the first thing that brain is looking for might actually surprise you.
Oh.
We think fashion is about standing out, being unique. But the brain's first priority isn't stunning. It's actually averageness.
Averageness. That sounds so underwhelming.
Yeah.
Nobody goes to a stylist and says, make me look statistically average, please.
I know, it sounds totally counterintuitive, right? But think about it from a data processing perspective. The source calls this processing fluency.
Processing fluency. So, how easy it is for my brain to digest the image.
Exactly. Your brain is always burning calories to process what it sees. So when it sees a face that's statistically typical, symmetrical, proportional features that match the average of everyone it's ever seen.
It processes it faster.
So much faster. It sends a little signal saying, I know this, I get this pattern, this feels safe.
So average here doesn't mean boring. It just means familiar.
Yes. Evolutionarily, anything that deviated too much from the norm could be a threat. A genetic mutation, an illness, not part of your tribe. Familiarity just triggers trust. Instantly.
Okay, so step one is safety. You look like one of us, you're safe. But what about symmetry? We hear that all the time, that symmetry is beautiful. Why?
It goes way deeper than just liking things that match. Symmetry is one of the strongest predictors of attractiveness because it's biological shorthand for health. It's like a certificate of immunity.
How does that work? How does my left eye matching my right eye say anything about my immune system?
Well, think about a developing organism. From the moment you're conceived, you're being hit with what they call microstresses.
Don't stuff.
Infections, toxins, trauma. Not enough food. All of it. And all these things try to knock your development off its genetic course.
Oh.
So if you get a bad infection at just the wrong time, it can cause a tiny asymmetry. One side grows just a little differently than the other.
Ah, I get it. So if you make it to adulthood and you're perfectly symmetrical, it's like a report card saying, I survived everything they threw at me.
That's it, exactly. It proves you withstood all those stresses without deviating from the plan. So your brain doesn't consciously think, oh, a symmetrical face. It unconsciously registers strong immune system, resilient genes, good mate.
And it responds with trust, with interest.
Precisely.
That's wild. Okay, so that's the baseline. Safety and health. Now let's get into the hacks. This is where we start using clothes to lie a little bit,
Yeah.
or at least exaggerate. Let's talk about female styling.
This is where it gets really fascinating. Let's start with the classic. Red lipstick and blush.
A staple, like my coffee shop story.
Yeah.
But the source says this isn't some random color choice we just decided was pretty.
Not at all. It's a simulation. Specifically, it's simulating the ovulatory flush.
The ovulatory flush. Okay, break that down.
Biologically speaking, when a woman is at peak fertility, her estrogen levels shoot up. That causes increased blood flow to the skin.
Oh, right.
And it creates this subtle, warmer, more vibrant tone, especially in the lips and the cheeks.
So putting on red lipstick is literally painting on that high estrogen state.
You got it. You are artificially recreating the signal of peak fertility. It targets the limbic system, the emotion and motivation part of the brain, and it just screams vitality and reproductive readiness.
That's why it's so magnetic. It's not just a color, it's a biological flag.
A biological flag saying, I am healthy and fertile right now.
Okay, the one that really blew my mind, though, and makes my feet hurt just thinking about it, is high heels.
Yes.
Because let's be real, biomechanically, they're a disaster. They're painful, you can't run. Why do we wear them?
If you look at a stiletto just as footwear, it makes zero sense. It's completely irrational. But if you look at it as a tool to alter your biomechanics,
To signal something.
to signal mating readiness, it makes perfect sense.
How much can a shoe really change your posture?
Everything. It changes the entire body. The source details this lordosis effect. When you wear heels, it lifts your pelvis and deepens the curve of your lower spine
The lumbar curve.
to about 45 degrees.
And that specific angle matters.
It matters a lot because that specific curvature is naturally adopted by women during, you guessed it, the ovulatory phase. It's a posture that signals mating readiness in a lot of mammals, actually.
No, the shoe forces your body into a posture that screams fertility, even if you're just standing in line for coffee.
Yes. And it changes your gait, too. The walk becomes more swaying, more rhythmic, because your hips have to move more to keep your balance. The brain doesn't see the shoe. It sees the posture and just registers attractive.
It's all so unconscious. Speaking of which, let's talk about the waist-to-hip ratio, the WHR. The source mentions that golden ratio of about 0.7.
This is one of the most solid findings in this whole field. Across cultures, across history, a waist-to-hip ratio of around 0.7 is seen as highly attractive.
And again, it's not just that it looks nice. It's a health readout.
It's a huge health readout. That number predicts optimal estrogen levels, low cortisol, the stress hormone, and just good metabolic health. It suggests a body with energy reserves ready for pregnancy.
So fashion just steps in to fake it.
Construct it is the polite term, yeah. Think about crop tops, push-up bras, those waist-cinching belts, corsets, even just the cut of your jeans. These are all perceptual strategies. They're optical illusions designed to artificially create that 0.7 ratio.
So you trick the observer's brain into seeing high reproductive value.
Exactly. You create the visual code that the brain is programmed to click like on, and it bypasses any rational thought.
Okay, let's flip it. We've talked about hacking, female hormones. What about the guys? What is male styling trying to signal?
Well, if female styling is often about signaling fertility and health, male styling leans really heavily into signals of resources, strength, and agency.
So let's start with the shape. For women, it's the hourglass. For men, it's
The V silhouette,
the
the inverted triangle, broad shoulders, narrow waist.
classic superhero look.
Exactly. And biologically, that shape signals high testosterone and physical strength, the ability to protect, to hunt, to provide. So,
What does fashion do?
blazers.
Suits.
Blazers with structured, even padded shoulders. A classic business suit literally extends the shoulder line out past the natural body. It's a direct simulation of that hormonal ideal.
So it conveys competence and authority.
Even if the man doesn't naturally have that V shape, a good suit creates the illusion of a hormonally optimal physique.
So padded shoulder is kind of the male version of a push-up bra.
In terms of the evolutionary signal it's sending, absolutely. It is amplifying a biological marker of value.
But men's fashion is also about stuff.
Yeah.
You know, watches, nice shoes, leather goods. The source calls this resource signaling.
And this is huge. Historically, your survival depended on having access to resources. Food, shelter. If you had resources, you could survive the winter. You could provide for a family.
How does a fancy watch translate into, I can hunt a mammoth?
It's the modern version of surplus. It's related to the handicap principle in biology. If you can afford to waste resources on something with no practical survival value, like a heavy gold watch or delicate shoes, you can't run in.
It signals you have so much extra that you can afford to be impractical.
Exactly. I'm stable. I'm predictable. My environment is under control. It's a safety signal. The brain decodes it as, this person knows how to navigate the world.
Okay, but then there's the other archetype the source mentions, the natural man. The beard, the outdoorsy vibe. That feels like the opposite of the polished suit guy.
It's just a different kind of signal. The suit signals social dominance, money, and status. The natural man archetype signals physical dominance.
So beards.
A very direct signal of testosterone and maturity. It just says, I am grown, I am strong.
And what about the scents? The source mentioned woody, animalic notes.
Yes. Colognes that smell like cedar, musk, leather. These aren't clean smells like soap. They're earthy. They symbolize physical presence. I am alive. I am here. Minimalist styling, clean lines, no frills. It all signals my strength speaks for itself.
So you have the corporate provider with the suit, signaling social safety, and the resilient hunter with the beard, signaling physical safety.
Exactly. Both are just different strategies, pushing different buttons in the observer's brain.
We've looked at men and women, but the source also mentions universal codes, things that work on everyone's brain.
Yes, and this brings us right back to how our brains process information. We talked about symmetry in faces, but it applies to styling too.
You mean like matching your shoes to your belt?
That's a perfect example. The brain loves order, symmetry in styling, or color harmony.
Right.
It helps with that processing fluency we mentioned. When an outfit is cohesive, the brain finds it non-threatening.
It's easy to look at.
Right. It says this person is put together, they're in control. A messy outfit creates this tiny bit of cognitive noise, a little buzz of anxiety.
Whereas coordination creates a little buzz of dopamine.
Exactly. And then there's skin. The source calls it the largest communicative surface.
It really is.
And smoothness signals youth and low oxidative stress. That glow everyone wants, that's just a sign of good metabolic health.
And contouring in makeup. I always thought that was just about looking dramatic.
It is, but why is that chiseled look considered good? High cheekbones signal genetic strength and low body fat. So when you use makeup to darken the hollows of your cheeks, you are literally sculpting your face to mimic those traits.
Painting on good genes.
In a way, yeah. Even tanning. It implies an active lifestyle, contact with nature. They're all biological stories.
Okay, we have to talk about the neurology of this.
Yeah.
Because the source is clear. This is not a conscious checklist. You don't look at someone and think, check, 0.7 ratio. Check, symmetrical blazer.
No, it happens way faster than that. By the time you're thinking, the reaction has already happened. The source explains that the brain's reward system...
The nucleus accumbens, that area.
Exactly, and the amygdala, it activates before conscious thought.
Before you even know you like what you're seeing.
Milliseconds before. When you see these biologically correct signals, the symmetry, the fertility cues, the status markers, your brain releases a little hit of dopamine. You feel pleasure or trust before you've even formed an opinion about their outfit.
So fashion works because it just bypasses our rational brain entirely.
It speaks directly to evolutionary memory. It hacks the system. We think we're making an aesthetic judgment, but we're really making a biological assessment. We think, that's a nice dress, but our lizard brain is thinking, that's a viable genetic partner.
That is just...
Yeah.
It really makes you rethink getting dressed in the morning. It feels a little manipulative.
It is manipulative, but all communication is, in a way. It just changes the question from, does this look good, to what message is this signaling?
So to wrap this all up, we started by asking why red lips catch the eye, or a suit commands respect. And the answer is that we're all just walking around broadcasting biological data.
That's the whole summary. Clothing is a language. A suit isn't just fabric. It's a story of strength. High heels aren't just shoes. They are a geometric alteration of the spine to signal fertility.
Makeup isn't just paint. It's an echo of estrogen. We are communicating I'm healthy, I'm fertile, I'm stable, directly to the brains of others, and we don't even realize we're doing it most of the time.
And that's the power of it. This dialogue has been going on for thousands of years, way before the fashion industry. Fashion just figured out how to turn up the volume.
It gives us the tools to make the signal louder.
To make ourselves louder in the biological marketplace.
Wow. It does leave me with one last, pretty provocative thought, though.
Go on.
If our attraction is driven by these ancient biological codes, and fashion is just a way to hack those codes, how much of our personal style is really self-expression? Are we really expressing our inner selves, or are we just unconsciously trying to survive and reproduce?
That is the question, isn't it? Are we the artist, or are we just the canvas for our genes?
Something to think about. Next time you reach for that red lipstick or that tailored jacket, are you dressing yourself, or is your DNA dressing you? Thanks for diving in with us.
A pleasure.